Thank you so much for your interest in learning more about the community climate grants, which support grassroots climate and environmental action in Fife. These grants are delivered in partnership between Climate Action Fife and Fife Climate Hub, and my name's Craig Leach. I'm the manager of the Climate Hub, who administer the funds. Just like last year, there are two different pots under the Community Climate Grants umbrella. We've got the Small Grants Fund and the Seed and Development Fund. And in this video, I'm just going to run through how to apply for the Seed and Development Fund. So if you are more interested in the small grants, then there is a separate video available on our website where you can learn about that. The Seed and Development Fund is open to any Fife community group who'd like to start up a climate project or build on their capacity to deliver climate action locally, and groups can apply for up to £1,000. There are a number of different things that you could use the money towards. So you may want to start up a project. So this could be a completely new thing. So for example, maybe you've got plans for a community fridge, a tool library, or a community garden. Or perhaps you already have plans in place that you just want help taking forward. This could be the fund for you. And you could also use it as match funding for a climate project that you've already got a little bit of money for. You could use it for project development. So maybe you've got an idea, a plan for your community, and you just want to carry out a feasibility study or maybe pay some consultancy fees, or maybe you need a little bit of money to put towards consulting with your community to see if they agree with what you want to do. And you can just use it for building your own capacity. So whatever you think would improve your group's ability to deliver climate action, you can use this money for. So it might be training costs, it could be a new website, it could be volunteer expenses, utilities or running costs, or maybe even some vital pieces of equipment that will help you deliver some really good local climate action. But we are pretty much open to suggestions. All you need to do is in your application, just demonstrate how whatever you need will enable your group to better take climate action. So please do let us know, and we will see what we think. And you can apply for up to £1,000. You don't have to apply for the full amount, but we would advise that you do. On completion of the project, there is a requirement to complete a short report. It's not a great big thing. It just lets us know what you spent the money on and what difference it's made. And a top tip to be successful is just to get across how your project will help your group or your community deliver climate action or raise awareness. How it will provide maybe a long-term legacy or a long-term benefit to your community will look good as well. So if you get that across in your application, then you're likely to be funded. So last year, the Seed and Development Project gave out around about £20,000 to support 19 different projects. And I just thought I'd share 3 examples with you that might give you some ideas about what you could do with the money. So the first one is Collinsborough Community Trust. They spent their Seed and Development grant to part fund the purchase and installation of 8 infrared heaters across 2 different rooms in their old Galloway Library building in Collinsborough. This replaced 4 old, inefficient electric heaters that took an age to warm the room up. And not only will this save about 300 kilograms of carbon every year, but it will also save the community around about £400 a year on their heating bills. And of course, you get all these amazing groups using the hall. They will all benefit because they don't have to sit there and wait for the room to warm up. YMCA in Glenrothes were awarded the Student Development Grant, and they decided to kickstart a gardening project. So they purchased some kit, they got some irrigation systems for their polytunnels, some fruit cages and bird mesh frame to protect their crops, some window boxes, a rainwater barrel, and some peat-free compost, all that they put towards their Arch Healthy Living Garden in Glenrothes. And this enables them to deliver 2 gardening sessions a week. It gives the local community the chance to gain knowledge and skills on how to grow food, and it really feeds into improving confidence and well-being and just tackling feelings of social isolation. And it also meant that they could deliver their first ever climate festival event, which was held and had some really good feedback in the garden. Sustainable Cooper, the River Eden Sustainability Partnership, were in need of a new website. So they used their fund alongside some other money that they already had to match it and to develop this lovely new website here. It'll be a really nice window onto the impacts of climate change has had on the biodiversity of the river and the river catchment. And on the website, there's going to be lots of good information on the impact of climate change. And it'll have lots of different routes in that local people can volunteer and help tackle the climate and biodiversity crisis in their community in whatever way suits them. So that was 3 examples of how the money was spent last year. So who can apply then? So applications are welcome from all community organisations, no matter what the focus of delivery. So in the past, groups have been youth groups, gardening groups, community trusts, and other community support organisations. As long as you are local, grassroots, and community-led and working in Fife, then we want to hear from you. You must be constituted, non-profit distributing, and you also need to have your own bank account for us to pay the money into. Now, if that is a slight issue for you, what you could do is you could partner up with an organisation that does have a constitution and does have a bank account, and that way you could still deliver your project. Now, the biggest change to our student development grants for this year is that to access the funding, you must be a member of Fife Communities Climate Action Network, or you must be able to apply at the time of making your funding applications. FCAN membership is free, and by joining, you become part of this really strong movement for change in Fife. And it's just a case of filling in a short membership form on the website. And not only will you get access to funding, you'll also get access to potential paid peer-to-peer support. Your organisation will appear on our website alongside your logo and on our membership map, which makes connecting up much easier. We'll have FCAN members-only events. And you just get to be part of this amazing network that's driving the change that we need to see across Fife at that local level. And all those members together, we've got about 60 members at the moment. That's a really loud voice to influence change, both in Fife Council, public sector, and at the national level too. So you get to be part of this amazing growing network. There are a few things that we're not allowed to fund due to conditions with the funders who provide us with the grants in the first place. So we can't fund statutory activities and activities that replace government-funded loans, endowments, or interest. We can't pay for somebody else to write your application. For any political activities, including lobbying, or for any activities that make profit. We cannot fund VAT you can reclaim, things that you've already bought, and items that will only benefit an individual. And we cannot fund religious activities, though of course religious groups are more than welcome to apply, there's no problem. And we can't fund alcohol either. So when can your project take place? Well, the project can take place anytime. It's a rolling grant scheme, so people can apply anytime, but the grant must be spent by the 22nd of March 2025, which is a requirement of the funder. And ideally, your project should take place before this date. Depending on your project, you might like to consider using your fund to deliver something during the Fife Climate Festival, which is between the 23rd of September and the 5th of October. But this is an optional thing. It's not a requirement of the funding. You can deliver your project whenever you would like. So here's a little slide that shows you the timeline. So applying is simple, and we'd aim to get back to you quickly. Successful applicants will get the funds up front, and the reporting requirements are quite straightforward. So to apply, all we need is a completed application form and a copy of your organisation's constitution. And it's a rolling fund. The final date that we've put in place is the 31st of January 2025. So you've got plenty of time to get your application in. And what we'd like to do is we want to get back to you very quickly. So within 1 week of submission of your application, we'll be in contact, and we hope to get the grant paid within 10 days of when you return a signed grant agreement. And again, all grants must be spent by the 22nd of March. We also will ask your project final report to be submitted within 2 weeks of the end of your project. And this date will be set when you do your application. You'll be asked to estimate when you think your project will be completed. And then you have a couple of weeks beyond that to complete the report. The report really is just quite a simple thing. All we're looking to do is learn what you spent the money on, what you learned from doing so, and share any feedback that you've received from the community. And we'd love to get photos as too. So if you could share any photographs of the work that you've done, that would be amazing. And all we do with your reports is we use them to report to our funders and share the amazing stuff, usually in a case study, about all the cool stuff that you've been doing. So applications can be downloaded from the web address there, fcan.org.uk/funding. Reminder that the final application date is 31st of January 2025, and you must also submit your organisation's constitution alongside the application form. And if you would like any support or just to get in contact, for advice, then do contact us at info@fcan.org.uk. And there is a little bit of support available to you there. You've got two great websites, Climate Action Fife and FCAN Fife Climate Hub website. They've both got resources page that is full of inspiration and ideas, templates and plans and information on climate conversations. So do check them out. And we also want to put on a how to talk about the climate emergency training, which will take place on the 20th of August. And that will just give you the confidence to have those climate conversations and also just make sure that the message is got across to your community. And of course, you can just reach out for any time for support. We're here on the end of an email or a telephone whenever you need us. So thank you so much for listening. We really love giving out this money and we can't wait to see what amazing things happen this year. I'm just going to leave you with some photographs for some of the things that we funded last year through our community climate grants. Lots of amazing and varied climate action. Thank you very much for listening.